Hey guys, it's Nerd Mom here, and today I am making one of my favorite easy recipes that's not really a recipe. So now, for those of you who don't know, I am a California girl, which means traditionally we love avocados. I can't imagine a time in my life when I had not had an avocado. And as a kid who grew up here in California in the Central Valley, and also my mom's family is from the Salinas, Monterey area, avocados are a big deal. So today I am making a avocado tomato salad, or in the version I'm making it today, I'm going to make it more of a relish. So this is super, super easy. And basically you're gonna make it for the size of people you have, which means there's not really a recipe. So I use two different tomatoes. One is these Nature Sweet Sunburst. No, this is not a paid placement. I just really like them. They're the little yellow ones. I have a hard time finding the sweet yellow tomatoes in any other variety. Even at the farmer's market, I don't usually find them very often. And then I am using grape tomatoes. We always have a ton of grape tomatoes in our house because we buy them at Costco, and my kids eat them with lunch every day. So we're gonna just take these real quick. This is the beginning of our salad or relish. And because I am making it as a relish, I am going to cut them into 8. So I swear, it sounds tedious. It is not time consuming. And this is just a real rough cut. Basically, I want to make them small enough that if people want to put this in their tacos tonight, instead of eating it as a salad, they can. Because tonight we are having 8 people over, I believe. On my husband's side. They're coming over for dinner, and so I wanted to do something a little special. Of course, we're doing Mexican food, and of course we're gonna have guacamole and salsa, but my kids love this, and my oldest gets really excited because all this, the base ingredients of this is just tomatoes, avocados, and lime juice. Lime juice is a wonderful thing. Same with lemon, and it prevents your avocado from getting brown. If you don't like that color that avocado sits out, gets that weird browny gray color. Ugh. So all I've got here is, I knifed down, not hurt myself, plain little bowl. I often make this in a plastic bowl with a lid, but since I'm just gonna leave this in the fridge until we serve tonight, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in a nice little bowl. And I'd say here I probably have 1.5 cups, 2 cups of chopped tomatoes today. Like I said, if it was just me and the kids, my husband's not a big avocado or tomato fan, I would just make a smaller amount. And if I wanted this as a salad, I often will have this for lunch. I'll just cut the tomatoes in half. And I'll cut the avocado just a little bigger, so that way you can just eat it with a fork or put it on some crackers. So for those of you who have not lived with avocados your whole life like I have, you cut it in half, pop the knife in here. A good ripe avocado will come right out like that. And then you just pinch it, and you pinch it right next to where the knife blade goes into the pit. That is it. That is deep hitting an avocado. And then I've seen them. I've even sold a Pampered Chef who sells one. Those fancy avocado knives that cut everything in here or just take your avocado out of the skin. You don't need that. Big spoon. You pop in your big spoon, and you pop out your avocado half. This is it. I'm just gonna turn that out on my board. Let's do the other one. The nice thing about using a big spoon is I'm gonna use it to stir my relish. So pop that out. Put that in my bowl. And we're just gonna do a small dice here. Now, like I said, if I was eating this as a salad for lunch with my kids or as a side salad in dinner, I leave it chunkier. But if you want to put this over chicken or fish or anything along those lines, cut it a little smaller, just so you can do it almost more like a relish. I say that. And these pieces are still good size. They're not teeny tiny. But they match up with 1/8 of a tomato, those little tomatoes, really, really well. And I'm going to use one of my favorite tools of all time. This is a bench scraper. And this is a great way to just scoop those bits and bobs off your cutting board. You don't have to lift up your cutting board and risk getting juice all over the place. It can get quite messy, and I don't really like mess. I know, sounds crazy for somebody who has 4 children, but I don't. And frankly, I just don't have time to deal with a whole lot of mess or recipes when it comes to these kind of things. As you're cutting around, you take your knife and you put it around your avocado so that you end up cutting it in half. Now you get one like this. This one is being a neater head. First you go in, show you how I problem solve, because of course this had to happen while filming. I'm gonna go in and just make sure that my cut is going all the way down to my pit. Give it another twist. See, that worked. Occasionally, you may get something like this. And what happened is the pit has not come fully away from the flesh. And so it left some of my seed covering. And all you do is, I personally, and I don't 100% know why it does this sometimes and not others, I'll cut it out. I'll use a spoon and take it out. You just have that there. If your avocados are uber ripe and you want to let your kids get messy, you can just hand them the avocado half that still has the pit in it, and if they squish it real hard, it'll pop the pit right out of that half. I want to apologize for the lighting in here. This is my new kitchen. For those of you who followed my adventures in Because Two Idiots Fell in Love, this is the TARDIS house, and I still haven't quite gotten used to the lighting. And for those of you who missed it earlier in the video, I have 8 people over for dinner tonight. So I am not going in to get studio lights and set everything up. I just thought, hey, I'm making this recipe. It's a popular little recipe with my family, so maybe I'll make a little video. If you hear any bubbling in the back, I have 16 pounds of pork in my crock pot right now. So if you want to see how I made my white girl carnitas, make sure you pop over. If I'm smart, I'll put a link right there, and check out that video for Crocktober that I did as part of a collaboration with YouTube Mommy Nita. I have one more component we're going to use, and that is a lime. A lime contains something called citric acid, and that citric acid is often used as a food preservative, and it stops things from browning, yellowing. If you're cutting apples, whatever, along those lines, apples, bananas, avocados, anything that gets brown when it sits out like that as a produce, usually a little lime or lemon juice or even grapefruit juice will often do it. Here's the trick to get the most out of your limes. You're going to give it a roll. Then you cut it in half. I just realized I did not grab my microplaner. And then you just give it a squeeze on all of your avocado. It will help stop everything from turning brown and gross and icky. That is one of the things that commercial guacamoles, they put in a citric acid component that you don't even taste that helps stop it. But authentic guacamole will often have a lime or a lemon in it. To get the most out of this lime, because it is a great Mexican kind of flavor, I am going to do just a little bit of zest off of this lime. You could have done it before you juiced it, which is normally what I would have done, but my hands were already gross, and I realized that I didn't have my microplaner. If you have very firm citrus, another way to get a lot of juice out of them is to actually pop it in the microwave for about 5 seconds. And that helps cause all the little pockets in there to release their juice a little bit more quickly. So as you can see, literally all I have in here right now is tomatoes, avocado, lime juice. That's it. And it's a squeeze of lime juice. If you like it really limey, my son does, you can put a second one in here. It will be a bit much for people who are not super into citrus. I basically just do it in his. And of quite frankly, if he was in here right now, he would be sucking on my lime peels because he just loves citrus. So I'm just giving this a stir. It's important to stir pretty quickly because you want to make sure that you get that lime juice everywhere that the avocado is. So here's the slight seasoning portion of this game. No measurements. And I buy my spices in big things because I cook for 6 people every day. I'm going to add just a sprinkling of paprika. And when I say sprinkling, I mean, you know, enough that when I stir it, I can still see it. See a little bit. I'm going to add probably about a teaspoon of salt. This is also really nice if you want it to break down and become more of a paste. You can use kosher salt and kind of mash it a little bit, and that gives it a little bit more of a paste guacamole-like texture. And then a good sprinkling of black pepper. If I still had parsley or basil, I might throw a little bit in if I wasn't doing a full Mexican night, but was just having this as a salad. Coriander or cilantro is not a big hit in my house. I like cilantro. My husband does not even like the smell of it when it's in the fridge, so it's our negotiation. When I go out, I eat lots of cilantro. So, oh, and that is it. Seriously, I have made from start to finish my avocado and corn relish that I will serve tonight along with my carnitas and chips and tortillas so that they can put it either as a nacho or as a tortilla, and my homemade refried beans. So what cooking video is done without a bite? None. Because we want to make sure that I don't fall over dead, right? Good. Very limey on the back of the spoon because it held on to where all the original lime juice was. But it's seasoned really well, and it just has that little kick from the paprika. Not a heat, but kind of a spicy, just a nod that there's another flavor in there. This will be so good, and as it sits, it will meld together and be even better. Make sure you subscribe, check out some of my other videos, and come over and see me at nerdfamily.com. Have a great day.